Hello, my friends, and welcome back to our story time for summer reading. This week is our third week of story times. And last week, if you guys remember, if you guys tuned in, we listened to a story from Africa in Ghana, which is on the west coast of Africa. And it was about a spider named Anansi. And this week, we are going to go back over to Europe to a country called England, and that's where this story originates from. It is a story of the three little pigs. And if you guys know this story, I want you guys to say some of the words that repeat with me. So one of the words that repeats is going to be from the wolf. And the wolf says, "I will huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." And can you guys say that with me? I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. And if you guys want to, you can even let out a big breath and pretend that you are blowing down a house. Go. Very good. So that is our first phrase. Our second phrase is said by the pigs, and they will say, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." Can you guys say that with me? Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Very good. If you guys want to scratch your chin when you say that, you guys totally can too. And then our third phrase is one that we have actually heard before. It's how we're going to start our story. Do you guys remember what we say? We say, "Once upon a time." Can you guys say that with me? Once upon a time. Very good. So that's how we're going to know that we're going to start the story. So are you guys ready? Let's take a deep breath in. Hold it and let it out. You guys ready? Once upon a time, there lived three little pigs. These three little pigs were brothers and sisters. And they decided that it would be a great idea to build themselves homes. Our first little pig decided that he was going to make his house out of straw. Our second little pig decided that she was going to make her house out of sticks. And our third little pig decided that he was going to make his house out of bricks. So they all went away to go ahead and build their homes. They worked very, very hard, and while they were working, along came a wolf. And our wolf was very hungry, and one of his favorite things to eat was little pigs. And when he heard that there were three little pigs working very hard to build three little houses, he decided that he was going to pay them a visit. So he was walking along when he came upon the first little pig, who had built his house out of straw. When the pig saw the wolf approaching, he let out a little squeal, and he ran into his house and locked the door up tight. The wolf approached the straw house and he said, little pig, let me in." And the pig said, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." So the wolf took a deep breath and he said, "Well, then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." And he let out a big breath, and the house blew all to pieces. And our little pig was so scared that he ran away to his sister's house made of sticks. The wolf decided that he would keep on going, and he went to the house made of sticks. Now, the sister pig and the brother pig had already run inside, and the wolf came and he knocked on the door and he said, little pigs, let me in." And together they said, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." So the wolf took a deep breath and he said, "Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." And sure enough, he let out another big breath, and the house blew all to pieces. So our brother pig and our sister pig ran all the way to their brother's house that was made of bricks. Now the wolf decided that he was going to follow them. He walked over to the house made of bricks that had 3 little pigs in it, and he knocked on the door, and he said, little pigs, let me in." And the pigs together said, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." So the wolf took a deep breath, and he said, "Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." And sure enough, he took another deep breath and blew as hard as he could. But this time, the house didn't fall down. The house made of bricks was very strong, and the wolf blew and he blew and he blew, but the house would not fall down. But our wolf was very clever, and he looked for another way in. And he noticed that this house had a chimney. So he decided that that's how he was going to get those 3 little pigs. So he climbed up into the chimney and he slid down, but unfortunately for him, the 3rd little pig had a nice warm fire going. And when the wolf came down the chimney, he sat right on the fire, and he let out a yip, and he ran out of the house, and the 3 little pigs never saw him again, and they lived happily ever after in the little house made of bricks. And that is the end of our story time. So that story is great because it has a lot of repeating phrases. A lot of times your little ones will know the story. It's one of those classic fairy tales that we hear a lot here in the United States. And these stories are often made into fractured fairy tales. So a lot of times authors will actually go ahead and rewrite the classic story and just tell it in new ways. We have a lot of really great retellings of the 3 Little Pigs story. I'll go ahead and post a list on our Facebook and our Instagram. That way you guys can maybe check out some of the titles that we have here in the library. And I wanted to remind you guys that we do have craft kits for every story time. So for this story time, your kiddos are going to be able to make their own 3 little houses. And if you guys haven't picked up those kits yet, you guys can swing by today if you'd like. And this story time is going to be archived on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. So if you guys maybe didn't get a chance to pick up the kit, but you guys want to make them yourself, you guys can definitely go outside and grab some sticks. If you guys have any yarn, that's a great substitute for the straw. Maybe you guys have some straw at home, who knows. And for bricks, you guys can definitely just use some crayons or markers, or even if you guys wanted to, you could cut up some construction paper that's red, or color some paper and cut it up so it looks like bricks and glue them down. That's a way that you guys can go ahead and do this craft at home on your own. So I also wanted to remind you guys that we are having prizes this year for summer reading. I know that we haven't been able to advertise them very well because we've just reopened the library, and we're also trying to cut down on the amount of foot traffic that tends to linger in the library, so we don't have them on display. But if you guys are filling out the bingo sheets, at the very bottom you will notice that there is a place where you can write your child's first and last name and a good phone number to contact parents or guardians, and that is a way that you guys can enter in for drawings for prizes. So for those, we have some sensory toys for the little ones. We've got some board books and picture books. So those are some prizes that you guys can work towards as a family if you guys are reading at home or doing activities. Another fun way to check off one of your bingo sheet marks, or maybe even a couple because there's a lot of different stuff on there, is by picking up one of our monthly calendars for early literacy. So these are put out by the Oregon Library Association, specifically for the Children's Division. So all of these different days of the month of July have activities that you guys can do that help promote early literacy. So there's singing, there's talking, reading, writing, playing, all of those things that you guys can do at home and do at home to make your kids strong readers before they even start sounding out their first word. So if you guys haven't picked one of those up, we have one for July and we'll have one for August for summer reading, and those are going to help you check off those bingo sheets as well. And go ahead and bring them in can to return them to us, and we'll get you guys some more. And if you guys don't feel comfortable bringing them in to the library, you can always organize a time to drop them off via our curbside pickup service if that's what you would like to do. Whatever makes you guys feel comfortable and safe, we'd love to help you out. So that is going to be our story time for this Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we are going all the way to the country of Japan, which is off the coast of the east coast of China. So that is going to be our story next week. So if you guys wanted to pick up the kit for that as well, we will be making a gratitude list next week, because our story is about a stonecutter who learns how to be thankful for the things that he has. So I'm excited for that story. I hope that you guys are too, and I will see you guys next Wednesday at 11 o'clock. And again, remember, you guys can find these videos on both Facebook and YouTube, depending on how the format you guys want to use the most. And if you guys have any suggestions, questions, or concerns, feel free to reach out, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much.